Thank you so much for watching this video and welcome to this channel. And this channel designed for people who are new and would like to start their career as a software tester, and also for those who already working as a software tester but would like to learn something new or improve their knowledge. Today we're gonna talk about most popular interview question for automation tester. What locators do you know in Selenium? Before we move to the locators itself, let's start with understanding what is a locator. Locators are the way to identify web element of a web application. That's how Selenium can interact with the web browser as an end user by clicking different buttons, web elements, by entering text into the text box and navigate between links. How do we find these locators? Selenium supports 8 different locators such as ID, class name, name, tag name, link text, PartialLinkText, cssSelector, and Xpath. In order for us to know how to write each of these locators, we need to know HTML structure of the web page. And in order for us to find those HTML web elements, we need to interact with DOM, which stands for Document Object Model. And then, once we access DOM, we can write one of the 8 locators, and that will help us to interact with the web elements of this application. How we gonna inspect this DOM and find all HTML elements? If you are using Google Chrome, you can press F12 button, or you can do a right click on the web page and select inspect. And this will open for you the developer tools console, and there you will see different tabs. The tab which we will need to use called element. So we're gonna navigate to the tab, and then we need to click Ctrl F, and it will allow us to type different locators. And before I show you how you can find each of these locators, let's talk about each of the 8 locators I mentioned so you understand what you need to look for. If you're gonna expect the HTML DOM, you will see their specific structure. Each element will have tag, it will have attributes, and attributes will have value. So when we're talking about locators in Selenium, those locators are using tag, attributes, and values. Let's start with ID locator. This locator using ID attribute of web element. That's how you can locate the specific element, and usually when the developers creating web pages, they're trying to use unique ID. That's why it's very popular between automation tester to use ID as one of the locators to search for different web elements. The next locator you would want to use if you don't have unique ID, it's name. Name is also one of the attributes of web element. There are also tag name locator. That means you will locate web element by using its tag. But this is not so good locator because there are a lot of common tags such as div or button. And if you're gonna use one of these tags, you will have multiple elements which are gonna show up for your search. Selenium gonna pick up the first element, but this type of locator with multiple under the same locator do not consider as a good locator. You always need to make sure that you find unique locator, and I will show you later how does it look like. If your web page has any links, then you're gonna use LinkText locator. That means you're gonna locate that web element by using exactly text of that link. But there are also option using PartialLinkText locator. That means you're gonna use only part of the text of that link, and you will be able to locate exactly the same element. The last two locators, cssSelector and Xpath, they're using combination of tags, attributes, and value, and some methods which allow you to write unique locators for some web elements. CSS is used to create a style rules for web pages, and we can use these to identify different web elements. And Xpath locator is the most powerful locator because it allows you to search by different methods which has contained some text or start with or end with some attribute values, and Xpath used if you have dynamic web elements on the page. Dynamic web element means when one of the value changes. For example, you have ID and it contains some letters and some numbers, and when you refresh your page, the numbers will change. That means that value is dynamic, it's not static. Then you can use dynamic Xpath by using contains or start with or ends with methods, depends where this static part of the text is located. And also Xpath allow you to find nth child. Let's say you wrote Xpath and it has 3 web elements with the same Xpath. Selenium will always select the first one, but let's say you need the second or the third and there's no other way to create unique locator. Then you can use option by picking up n child of this Xpath by putting the number in the square brackets, and this is unique about Xpath Locator. cssSelector does not allow you to do that. Talk about best practices for Selenium locators. Which locator to use? ID and name attributes are the most popular to use as a locator, especially if ID are unique. Then if you're working with links, obviously you're gonna use LinkText and PartialLinkText locator. And if they're dynamic web elements, you can always use Xpath or cssSelector. When you create locator, when you write locator, make sure it's unique locator. It's finding only single web element for this specific locator, and it's pointing exactly to that web element you would like to interact in your automation scenario. And do not use dynamic attribute values. Dynamic value means if you refresh the page, some numbers will change. Usually it's numbers which change. Let's say you have ID with the text and numbers will change. So do not use these values for your locator, because the next time you execute your automation script, it will fail. For this type of locators, you will need to use dynamic Xpath. We talk about locators, let's talk about how Selenium allow you to interact with these locators. Selenium provide by class, and by class contains different methods which you can use, and the methods name are exactly as locators call. You have class name method, you have ID method, and Xpath method. Inside the method, you will add string, which is gonna be your locator. And in order to call these methods, we're gonna create driver object, and we're gonna use find element methods, and inside that method, we're gonna put this by class object, and we will call that methods. You can also use page factories that will allow you to use add find by annotation, where inside the parentheses you're gonna specify which type of locator you wanna use, ID, Xpath, or others, and then you're gonna create web element and put specific name for that web element. And for the end of this video, I wanted to say that it's very valuable to know how to write the correct locators, how to be able to write the unique locator, so you will find the only one locator for every specific web elements you need to interact with on the web page. And it's very popular interview question, what locators do you know in Selenium? And if you're gonna be asked this question, some companies may ask you to share screen, navigate to any website, for example Google search, and inspect and write the Xpath for any of the elements of this web page. I hope this video was helpful, and if you think this video can help someone to learn, please share this video and let them know about this channel. I will really appreciate that. Thank you for watching until the end, and hope to see you in my next video.